Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tiana with Storyhouse Books, and this is part 2 of the Grungy Folio Recreate series that we're doing. This is one of our Sunday series videos, or Sunday series. It's the first Sunday series. And if you're just joining us, we are recreating a Grungy Folio that I did a few weeks back that sold, that a few people, well not a few, just quite a few, have asked or had said that they had wished that I had shown how I made it. So I'm going to use this time to recreate it. It's not going to be exactly the same, but all the techniques and the elements will be the same. Okay, so in part 1 we did the base, which is done here, right? All done, ready to go. All right, so this is a 3-inch main spine here. Now the original one started out as a 2-inch with 1-inch subspines. I ended up having to expand that spine, so instead of doing that here, I went ahead and started out with a 3-inch main spine. These are 1 1/4. Now normally I would do, if it's a 3-inch main spine, I would do 2 1 1/2, so it equals 3, right? Well, I decided against that. I decided instead of doing a 2 1/2-inch spine, I'd do a larger spine and do 1 1/4-inch subspines. Gives us a little bit of wiggle room to make it, you know, a little bit bigger without having to go too big on it, if that makes any sense. Okay, so what is our next part here? Well, we have to choose, I choose papers. And first thing I want to do is, before I forget, is around these corners right here. Are those straight? Yeah. Making sure those are straight. Yeah. Okay. And around these corners real quick. Okay. I had to choose the paper, which I've done. And we're going grungy again with this one. Just different color scheme, I guess. I'm not really sure yet. Like I told you guys before, I'm not sure. Sometimes I start a project with a theme or a direction, and it may deviate and turn into something completely different, right? But we'll see how this goes. So, like I said, the next step is we're going to do the cover. The reason we're doing the cover next is because I am going to be using some brads, and they'll be going through it, obviously, and then I want to cover that. So, I want to do that part first before I put any of the other papers on, right? So, I've chosen the cover paper, and it's going to be this here. This came from 49 Market, from the Rev and Russ 2.0 paper collection. This is actually the inside of the paper pack cover, okay? Because normally you can buy single sheets out of a collection of 49 Market, and you can of every other paper in that pack but this one. There is a similar one in the original Rev and Russ collection, but it's actually, this print is larger, so it's like 3 lines of this zigzag versus this smaller pattern. So you can't get this in singles. You have to buy the whole pack. So here's actually the cover right here of that paper pack. So I'm actually buying another couple paper packs just so I can get some more of this, this particular sheet. Anywho, that's going to be our cover. In the last one, we did a book plate, so we're going to do that again. This is actually a piece of file folder that we'll use with that and this book plate. And I'm going to use this cheesecloth that I dyed. If you can tell or see it here, it's kind of like a greeny, mossy kind of look to it. I used walnut stain and a, what was that? It was one of the mica sprays in a green color. Let me see which one it is. I need to tell you which one it is. Hold on one second. Let's see, where did it go? I'm just reaching right now. Okay, so I did walnut stain on cheesecloth to get this color combination, right? It's kind of mossy, right? So you'll see the brown in it and the green, obviously. So I did like some walnut stain, spray stain, and then this is distressed mica stain in Wicked Elixir. You can see that? Yeah. So I did those two together, just kind of randomly sprayed it, and got this really pretty mossy kind of dingy kind of color to it, right? So we're going to use that behind the book plate. And let's start with that. So, I don't know how far we're going to get today. We're just going to go with it. Wing it, I guess you can call it. And we'll just see how far we get. Alright, so let's go ahead and put the pieces on the cover first. So, we've got the cheesecloth here. And I've got to decide if I want this smaller and how much cheesecloth I'm going to use here. I'm thinking I'll just cut that in half maybe, or just a piece off of that. And then something like that just coming out all sides, but I don't want it even. I want it kind of uneven. So let's do this. I'm going to cut off a piece here. It's not that much. That looks good. I think I want to use this dingier part down here at the bottom, actually. So let's cut off. I'm just going to guess here. Because it's grungy and dingy, so it's not going to be really even anywhere, right? So I'm kind of just fluffing out the cheesecloth a little bit, making it a little bit more stringy. And I might cut some more off. Now this page, this cover measures 10 by 5 3/4. Okay. And I went ahead and stitched it as well, and inked it before we started. I just wanted to save some time. All right, let's see here. I like it like that. It's too even. I think I'm gonna make it smaller. Let's cut some more off of here. It's too much. Okay. It's rolling up on itself here. Alright, let's see here. That'll go there. This will go on top. This will be kind of just coming out the sides. However. Alright. Very stringy. And then this bookplate will go on top of that. We're going to ink this pretty heavily as well with some Distress ink and black soot to give it a more dingy color. I thought about even stenciling over it, or maybe doing some stamping on it to make it even dingier. I think I will. We'll leave it this size. Let's go ahead and ink it, and I'm going to go grab some stencils or stamps, and I'll be right back with that. Okay, you guys. I went and grabbed this stencil here. This is stencil, I'm not sure what they call it, but it's THMM123 is the number at the bottom there. As you guys can see that here, right there. So we're going to do some stenciling on this, and then I went and got this grid stamp. I got this off Etsy. I'll try to remember to find the vendor. I love this stamp. Love this stamp. Love it. Love it. We're going to do a little bit of that. And I'm going to use archival ink and black soot from this Distress Ranger. So we'll need that. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to ink the edges first with Distress ink, black soot. And I'm probably, actually, before I do that, I'm going to distress the edges of the paper with my scissors and kind of rough it up a little bit. So all I'm just doing is taking my scissors and just running it down the sides here. Tim Holtz does make a tool that does this same thing. I don't see the reason to purchase it when you can do the same thing with your scissors. Okay. Alright, let's do some inking here. And then I'll do some stenciling on it. Actually, let's do the stenciling first. And the stamping, as a matter of fact. Alright, I'm going to do a couple little grid hits here with this. Let's see, what do I want to do it? Maybe just a little bit on and off. There, maybe one hit down here. One up there. One down there. Yeah, that's good. That's plenty. See, isn't that cool? I love this grid stamp. I don't know if you guys can see that really well, but it's awesome. Okay, let's do some stenciling on here also. I'm going to use this little grimy stuff, I think. I don't want to use this. Kind of like this. It's a little more subtle. Versus the big blobs. I think the big blobs are too much. We're going to go subtle with this one. I'm going to grab my brush here, and let's use the Distress ink black soot. Just going to rub that on my brush a little bit. And just rub over very gently, because this is a very thin, wiry little stencil. So too much pressure on it will tear it. I've already torn it once. Okay. See how that looks. Oh, I like that. Give me 1 second, I'll show you guys. I'll bring it up closer to the camera here. Yes, I like that a lot. Let's see if you guys can see. That's just real subtle there. See a little subtle, little wrinkling of just, you know, texture to it in the background, right here. I love this right here. All right, I think that's good as far as the background is concerned. Let me move this off here. Okay, and now we're gonna ink the edges. And then actually I think I'm going to curl up the corners as well. Now to do that, I just take my awl, if I can find it, or an awl, and I kind of just roll it up on the awl here a little bit, and roll it with my finger while I'm twisting the awl to kind of give that corner a little, you know, a little more worn look. And then we'll ink that as well. You guys can see that there, a little rounded corner there. Then we'll do, how about we do some tearing as well. So I'm going to purposely tear this right about here and then curl those pieces in as well. So again, I just take my awl with my finger and just roll both of them at the same time, and that will roll that piece in, kind of like that. Yeah, see that? And then I'll do the same with the other side. It takes a little practice to do it. Like that. And then let's ink that up as well. Okay. Alright, let's do that. I'm going to do that again down here at the bottom. Let's tear it right about, oh, I don't know, here. Just a random spot. Ugh, come on. Don't let me tear it. There we go. Alright, let's curl this side of it. Just rolling it back and forth here. Give it a little bit of a curl. Let's do the other side too, if I can get it over here. And just kind of roll it on that awl with your finger and the awl at the same time. And that'll kind of round it out a little bit. I'm going to ink that and kind of darken it right there in the center. Kind of drag it down to give it a little bit more depth, yeah? And let's do this corner as well, just for a little bit of balance. Now the trick is to get that corner under and curl to curl under. That's the tricky part. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm just going to darken that up a little bit. Okay, let's do that. All right, I think that's good. All right, next we are going to apply our cheesecloth here, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the center. I don't want to cover the, I don't want this to be all flattened down, because I want to be able to pull it out a little bit once we attach this piece, okay? So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac here, and just put enough just so the cheesecloth attaches, okay? Sorry, my Fabri-Tac's coming out really slow, so I'm like having to really squeeze it right now. I'm just spread that out a little bit with my finger, and then I'm just let this drop down on here. Okay, and roll my bottle of glue over so my fingers don't get stuck in it. Okay, there we go. And we're going to attach this piece next. I'm going to kind of tear this a little bit too, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I like that a little bit grungier. Alright, I think that's a good spot for the book plate, right about there. Let's see. And that will go right here. It's out of a little bit of a bend to it, doesn't it? But that would go right there in the center. Let's see what we think here. I think that'll work. What do you guys think? Yeah? Alright, let's go ahead and attach this piece here. We're going to use Fabri-Tac again. Okay. So I hope you guys are having a good week. It is actually I'm filming this on a Monday. You guys will see it on a Sunday. I'm trying to film it a little bit ahead so I don't get caught behind. All right, let me see here. Make sure I get this centered where I want it anyway. Tear this cheesecloth a little bit. Is that straight? Okay. I think that's straight. Yeah, we're good there, I think. Okay. Yeah, okay, we're good. All right, the book plate, we're going to attach that with some brads. Yeah. And let me grab some here. I don't have any black ones, but I do have some Tim Holtz long fasteners here. And I think we'll go with not the silver one, but not the red, not the bronze, but the more, or the copper one, but the more bronze looking color. I think will be good. Or should we use, these are a little bit smaller. No, I want to use the larger ones. So I have 3 different sizes of Tim Holtz fasteners. The real small ones that look like screw heads. And then I have these long fasteners. And another set that's a little bit smaller head here. These are a little bit smaller, but I think they'll actually will go through those holes. So let's use, not the silvery ones. Is that the one I want? Yeah. There we go. Are those 2 different colors? No. Oh! I went flying across the room. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to take my little pokey tool here and line up my book plate here. You know, make sure the opening's at the top, right? Alright, is that straight on there? I think so. That's pretty close. Alright, yeah. Come on. Alright, so I want to do that. I'm going to grab my awl, or your pokey tool, right? And I'm going to poke my holes here. So I'm going to put this down. Make sure it's straight. Is that straight? Excuse me if my head gets in the way, you guys. Alright, I'm going to poke my holes here to mark it. Like that. Oops. I just sent my brads flying across the table again. Where'd the other one go? Gosh darn it, where'd it go? I think I've lost it on my table of mess. Yep, I lost it. I don't know where. I can grab another one. Hold, please. Your call is very important to us. Please, please hold. Not the same one. I think these are the same color. Yeah. Okay. Let's sip on my juice over here. Okay, let's poke our hole. Be careful not to poke yourself on the other side. And right here. Come on, go through. Here we go. All right, now take our book plate. Make sure that's nice and straight. It was a little bit crooked there for a second. Line up your holes there. Grab your brads, put those through. I'm going to flip this over and just quickly open those legs up, and then I'll go back and flatten them in a second once I get these in. Okay. That looks like it's straight to me. What do you guys think? Yeah? Pretty straight? I want to flip it over, and I'm going to flatten these with the back end of my awl, and it'll flatten it right up against the paper, right? I'm going to push down in the center so it's nice and tight on the frame. on the book plate on the other side. Yeah. And then once we lay this down, it'll be hidden and nobody will know at all. And I think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I'm gonna darken this up a little more, I think. Right there, and this one too. It's a little more grungy here. And there is our cover, right? Alright, so now we can attach it. All we have to do is put on some double-sided tape, some Fabri-Tac, and attach it. So I'm going to grab my score tape here. Now, before I do that, I'm going to clip off the threads on the inside. They tend to be problematic if you try to glue them down. If they get pulled or, you know, whatever. I just always cut them off. Keep them out of the way, keep them from being problematic and pulling up paper if somebody tugs on it. Okay, step to the edge here. Okay. Now, if you are new to our channel, I do this on most of my backing papers and my covers. I'll use double-sided tape, the score tape in particular, and I also use Fabri-Tac with that. It's a silicone-based glue, and because this particular double-sided tape is so strong, it will attach, and if you try to move it or reposition your paper, it will tear whatever it's attached to. Okay, so what I do, I'm going to show you what I do here. First things first, once you put your double-sided tape on, you have to smush it down really well, especially that I'm doing this over stitching. I have to make sure that adhesive gets in there. But if you don't do this and you try to pull the backing off, it'll come right up without the adhesive attaching to your paper. Okay, so you must rub this down. Even more important if you're doing it over stitching, like I am. I'm making sure it gets into that stitching really good. Okay. Just rub, 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 rub. Okay, I think I got it. I'm just going to use my little weeding tool here and gently pull the backing up, making sure that adhesive stays down. Now, once I pull the backing up, I'll show you what I do with Fabri-Tac and then explain why I do it this way. Now, we all know, or maybe you don't know, different types of glue for different things. Now, if it's paper to paper, I normally will grab art glitter glue. Okay? It's not glitter, that's the name of it. It's called art glitter glue. It's a white glue. It dries super fast. It is perfect for paper to paper. It does do other things like metal or magnets on plastic, but I normally use it for just paper to paper. Fabri-Tac, anything with fabric. Stitching, anything with fabric, I'll grab Fabri-Tac. And for this, Fabri-Tac, if you use it, gives you a little bit of time before it dries completely so you can reposition. That's why I use it here. What I will do is take a very thin bead of Fabri-Tac and put it over the top of the tape. This allows me just a few seconds to reposition the piece before I commit to a position or commit to a spot for this cover or any piece that I'm wanting to use the double-sided tape on. Okay? What is stringy over here? Okay, I'm going to actually grab my other Fabri-Tac, the bigger bottle with the bigger nozzle to cover the rest of the cover. Okay? Goober on there. There we go. And then I just cover the rest of it with the Fabri-Tac, like that. Okay, now let's grab our folio here. And this is going to be our cover. So I'm going to lay this flat out. Should have already done this before my Fabri-Tac starts to dry, because it will start to, the alcohol in it will start to evaporate. Anywho, alright, so holding the cover in the middle here, I'm going to bend it a little bit and lay it down in between the folds. Make sure it's even on all the sides here. And I'm bending it a little bit, so I'm using the center to start before I position or commit to a spot. Make sure it's even and straight here. I think we're good. And I think I'm happy with that spot. So I'm going to commit to this position and press down on the tape now. Okay, some of this cheesecloth here. Okay. Get out of the way. Now, if there's a little bit of glue seepage, don't worry about it. Just take it off with your glue eraser. You can get them for $1.25 at the dollar store. They look like this. Funky little dude. Okay, I'm going to take my own folder here and just spread the glue out underneath. And hit these edges again. Make sure they're nice and flat in the corners especially. I want to make sure these edges stay down, which is the real reason I use the double-sided tape. I find that it keeps my edges nice and flat, and I don't have to worry about curling up later on, or I haven't heard of any curling up on my pieces. And I haven't seen it on the ones that I've kept yet. Okay. Alrighty, I think we are good here. And there is our cover so far. Yeah? We'll come back in and we'll put a label or something in there later on. I need to make one for it. Alright, let's flip this back together and see what it looks like all folded back up. That is our cover, and I'm totally digging on it. I love this print. Kind of like a hazard print. What do you guys think? Yeah? No? Maybe so? Okay, where are we on time? Alright, we're half an hour in, so let's go ahead and start putting on the rest of our cover pieces for each panel. I've chosen actually some papers that I didn't really particularly like because they're going to be covered anyway. So I got this from a paper pack I bought from Reminisce, I guess you call it. It's called Denim, Leather, and Lace. I got it for the texture, for the leather pages that were in it. But what also came in it was this like reptilian textured leather, right? That I don't really care for. But for this particular instance, I thought we could use it as backing here because it'll be covered up with pockets and flip outs and whatnot. But it's the kind of cool texture that it's kind of would be, I think, okay peeking out from the sides. Okay, so let's do that. They're all I went ahead and cut them from 12 by 12 pieces. They are 10 by 6, okay? 10 by 6. And they'll fit within these panels here that we've already, a little bit with a mat behind it, okay? And they're going to go on each one of these each one of these panels, yeah? All right, so we need 6 of these, actually 5, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, you do need 6, right? Yes, 6. The back cover back here is actually going to be a piece of black, actually. And why am I not doing the same as the cover? I am. I had to order it because I messed up the bigger piece. I'm actually going to put a piece of black here because this pattern will be the box pocket back here. I didn't want to put that paper down and then cover it with something else. I wanted you to see that. So I'm going to put black here because this is all going to be pretty much covered with the box pocket that's going to be in this print to match. Okay? So once that gets here, soon, we'll do the back cover as well. Alright, so, but these are going to go on these panels here and then the 4 panels on the inside. So what do we do next? Well, the 2 pieces that are going to go on these front panels here, first thing we need to do is round the corners to match the folder parts. So let me grab my corner rounder if I can find it. There we go. And we're going to use same setting, 7mm, and round 2 of the corners to match this panel. Yeah? Alright, so those 2 will go there. And then we're going to ink them all, and then we're going to sew the edges. So, I'm going to do that off camera, and I will be back. Okay? So, once you take your pieces that you're using, go ink them, go sew them if you are going to sew the edges, or stitch the edges, and then we'll come right back, attach these, and then we'll move to the next part. Okay? Okay, let's keep going here. We are going to we're going to put it in the backing paper for the rest of the folio here. So we've got 4 panels or 6 panels actually if you count these 2 up front. So what we're going to do is put this aside for a moment, and we're going to put the double-sided tape on all the pieces that we're going to use. So we'll have these 2 will be on those front 2 you just saw. These 4 will go on the inside, and this one will go on the back. Okay? Move some of this out of the way here. I have chosen the papers, all going to be Tim Holtz most likely. I got a stack of papers over here that I picked out from all different packs, from Halloween packs, from the volumes, the backdrop volumes. Actually, a lot of times once I open them up, I kind of mix them all together. So I can't really remember which ones come from which anymore. But these 4, again, came from 49 and Market, from the Rev and Rust, like that front page cover piece did. I'm sorry, no, this one came from, I forgot, where'd that slip go? Let me remind myself, yeah, Reminiscence, I guess what it's called, and it's from the Denim Leather and Lace collection. Like I said, this is what was left over from the pack that I didn't use before, so I think this will actually go good as the background paper. So let's go ahead and start doing this part. Please feel free to fast forward this section, because we are going to be just putting on the double-sided tape on everything and attaching to the folio here. So just like with the cover, like I said, I'm trying to get better at editing, but I haven't figured out how to fast forward sections just yet. So hopefully by the time I have aired this, I will have, there's a mosquito in here. Sorry, I keep trying to switch it away. By the time this airs, I will have figured it out, and this part will be fast forwarded, or will be sped up anyway. So hope I can figure it out. You would think I would be able to figure it out coming from an IT background, but I also don't have patience to sit there and figure it out. I've only tried once to try to figure it out so far, so, but I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually. I figured out how to, you know, clip things together, which is nice. Allows me to film, take breaks and stuff in between if I want to, and then just merge clips together. You're still not missing anything, I promise. Even though I'm clipping things together, I'm usually just taking a break from filming, or I've run out of memory or something. I have to stop for a minute and clean up my phone or whatever. Okay. So this beginning part of my folio process is always kind of painstaking, because it's a lot of setup for just not the fun stuff, right? The decorating and all that, I guess you could say. But the important parts, for sure. And again, if you missed it, I'm using, this is score tape, double-sided. This is my double-sided tape of choice. I do have it listed in my tools, just a list in the description. And I believe the link I have is for a pack of 5, which is fairly inexpensive considering. So I usually buy a pack of 5 at a time. I had to remove that Fabri-Tac link that I had up. I don't know if it's still, I think it's still up there. I found a vendor that sells Fabri-Tac, the large bottles, 2 for $20. I haven't checked recently, but he was out of stock the last time I checked. But I think the link is still good, so check that out. I can't find it anywhere that inexpensive. Usually it's $17 per bottle, not 2 for $20. Uh-oh, I think I went over the edge a little bit. Oh, it did. Almost, but not quite. Let's see, what else is going on with me? So, daughter and I are thinking about going to do something for Halloween, like camping or something. And I found this really cute place in North Carolina. It's not too far from us, near Lake Chateau, if you're familiar with the area. Beautiful lake. Anyway, the host is found on, I think it's Verbo, and it's called Glamping in the Chapel. Anyway, he built this chapel on his property and rents it out to people to camp in. and he built it himself by hand. It's so cute. It's a beautiful looking little chapel. The inside's all decorated with his mother's artwork. She's an artist, and she passed away, but he used all of her artwork in the decorating of it. And it's got these beautiful, like, little wrought iron gates around the beds. And I mean, it's, if you're, you know, kind of gothy like I am, it's perfect for like a Halloween weekend getaway. My daughter and I were thinking about planning. It's got like an outdoor shower. It's got like a Finnish meaning F-I-N-N I-S-H from, you know, Finland, type of wood burning sauna that's out there. It's got a spring-fed pond that you can go swimming in. It's right in the mountains, right outside Natal Forest. And we're going to go hiking. And I don't think it has internet because they don't say anywhere that there's Wi-Fi. If it's in the mountains, we're probably not going to get very good signal. So I may make sure to film early so I have something out for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday while I'm gone. If I go. If we go. Okay, so next part is, you guys know with the double-sided tape, make sure you burnish it down really well. Otherwise, when you try to pull the backing up, it will pull the adhesive up right with it. It needs to adhere to the page. And this is how you do it. Lay it down and then go over it with your bone folder or whatever tool that you use. Okay. Make sure you do it really well. You don't want to pulling up halfway through it as you're trying to pull up the backing. I get the side out. Make sure you get that there. Okay, so this video, like I said, we're going to do the background paper. Looks like I got a little over the edge there. We're going to do background paper. Sometimes I will plan out the panel before I attach everything, but not this particular one. I'm not doing that way. Sometimes I will, you know, put things underneath the backing paper. Sometimes I won't. This depends on what I feel like doing at the time. So I don't have like a real set like process. I mean, I do, but I don't at the same time. I kind of wing it a lot of times. Like I was saying before, sometimes I'll start, a lot of times actually, I'll start a project with a vision or a theme in mind, and it may change mid-project. You know, may come out something altogether different. But this one will be a Grungy Folio, mostly Tim Holtz stuff. I haven't decided like all the paper, but mostly it's backdrops. I do finally have a set of each of the vault releases that came out this year. I was finally able to curate one 12 by 12 of every single one. So I've got Wallflower now. Actually, I've got 3 of Wallflower, and I found an older new, well, it's still in the package, but it was from the original release with the vellum for wallpaper. So I've got one of those sets. I've got Abandon, which I love, 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 love. It's my favorite. I've been looking for another one. Found one. I'm gonna try to scoop it up. It's on eBay. It's $50 though, but it's totally worth it. I love that paper. What else did I get? I got one correspondence, one memorandum, the French Industrial, and Dapper, and then a couple of those in the 8x8 as well. So totally stoked about that. So now should I hoard it? Or just, you know, I'm looking for the 8x8s also, so I can use those as pockets and not like cut up a whole big sheet. But that's what it's for, right? To use. So I need to, you know, get over myself and use it. All right, let's put the back on first. Now remember, like I said earlier, we're putting the black on the back instead of this the yellow zigzag, because the box pocket we're going to make on here is going to be this zigzag pattern. Now, I'm not putting it on right now because it'll make the back of the folio uneven and kind of difficult to work with. So I always do that last. Here's my bin. Here it is. Okay. So I'm just going to take off the backing, and we're going to do this on all the background papers. And if you missed it or haven't seen me do this before, I use double-sided tape in conjunction with, pair it with, or also with Fabri-Tac. And just to repeat, the double-sided tape, once it goes down, it's down. So The Fabri-Tac gives me a minute to position things. So again, to repeat, a thin bead over the double-sided tape itself. Because once this stuff grabs, it will grab, and that is it. It is stuck where it is. Or you will damage everything underneath. This provides a little bit of a barrier, right? And then I'm going to use this bigger bottle with the larger tip here. There we go. And we'll put this one down. Now I'm going to carefully, I usually bend it in the middle and then place it down and kind of maneuver it around a little bit before I commit to a spot. Now watch your folds here. You don't want to get too close to either side. You kind of want to balance it out, making sure the top and bottom are close to being balanced here, or even. Okay, I think we're good there, and I think we're straight. I'm going to move a little bit more to the side. It's starting to get stiff on me. Okay, I gotta make a decision here. All right, I think we're good right there. Yeah, I like that right there. All right, just gonna hold the corners down with my fingers and then press down the tape part first. And that is not going anywhere now. Then I'll take my bone folder and run over the middle part to spread the glue out best we can. We don't want any bumps and whatnot, or try to reduce the amount of bumpage here. Okay, I think we're good. Now I'm going to run over the edges again with my tool here just to make sure that they are down flush. Here you may have some seepage, and remember, that's okay. Just quickly get rid of that with your glue eraser. You don't want to let that sit too long. Now, I didn't sew this one because we're actually covering it with that other paper, so I didn't bother doing any stitching on this piece. And you know what I didn't do is I didn't stitch these either, so that's okay. So we're going to cover them all up anyway. So for this particular folio, I'm not stitching the background papers. I'm going to try something a little different. Normally I would, but for this exercise, I'm not going to. Okay, so I'm looking for the ones with the rounded corners. But we will be stitching everything else. Here we go. This one goes here. So let's get the backing off of this one. Now, stitching isn't required. It's just a look. You don't have to stitch if you don't want to. Or if you don't have a sewing machine, it's totally fine. It's just preference. Okay. Now again, we're going to be doing this 5 more times, so please feel free to fast forward through this part, because this is basically what we're going to be doing 5 more times. Or I could just stop the video and then just go ahead and do this and come back, which maybe I'll just do that. Save us some time on the video. Yeah? Why don't I do that? We'll put on this one and the other front panel, and then I'll do the rest off camera, and then we'll come back, okay, and then we'll start on the next part. Let me lay this down flat here, or flatter. All right, again, just bend it slightly in the center, place it down, and then slide it around to where you want it to go. And I think close right there. Let's see. One a little further out this way. Yes. Okay, we're good there. I like that right there. Okay. Hit the edges, of course. Particularly those corners. Those are usually the first things that I want to curl up on you. Just going to press out towards that way. And let's move this glue out evenly as best you can. And then we're going to hit the glue that's seeped out. Now remember, if you're going to be inking, you either want to do that before you do this, or make sure you get the glue off those edges, because otherwise, if you're using Fabri-Tac, it won't stick. The ink won't adhere there. It won't ink. Okay, so let's do this one other side, and then I'll do the rest off camera, as well as inking the edges, probably. Might as well just do that off camera as well and save some more time. Yeah, normally, like I said, I do my process start to finish, but since this is quite repetitive and quite long, I don't mind stopping for this part. I'm sure most of you guys don't mind either. Okay, come on now, here we go. Let's see. What else am I going to be working on? So, I've been thinking about what we're going to do for October, and I've floated around the idea of doing something like Crafty by Tony did last year. I think she did it 2 years ago, but I know she did it last year, where she did Halloween every day. She did a project every day, and then most of that stuff went into a journal at the end. I was thinking about doing something similar. I'm kind of scared too, because like, do I have enough like ideas for something every day? Do I have enough time to film something every single day? I don't know. So I'm kind of like a little intimidated, but I wanted to challenge myself to try to do it. But like, I'm afraid, like, what if I try and I fail at it, and I don't, say I'm going to do something and I'm not able to deliver, right? I mean, I could always like film ahead and film enough material to do something for every day. I don't know. What do you guys think? I also thought about just, doing some spooky projects during that time with you guys. Or maybe joining a collaboration. I know there will probably be some collaborations out there for Halloween and spooky season. Last year I did a bunch of folios. Like I had a bunch of custom orders last year. And I did so many spooky folios last year. And journals. It's crazy. And I ended last year with that big book of folios that was nothing but like different types of like spooky sections, and it was, oh my god, it was beautiful. My friend Julie ended up picking that one up. Man, that thing was just freaking phenomenal. So if you want to see what that one was, if you missed it, I do have a flip through of it. It's called the Big Book of Folios from last year, and that thing is so cool. I had so much fun making that, but it stressed me out, but that was one of my favorite things I've ever made, was that thing. And I think I'm going to do another type of book of folios like that. So what a book of folios is just like a big folio like this that has a bunch of folios on the inside. That thing had 14 to 16 panels by the time I was done with it, not counting the flip outs on the inside. So that was just like the main panels like this. So it had like a main panel. It had 14 or 16, I can't remember off the top of my head. It was a lot. It was huge. Thing was awesome. Okay, tidy up here a little bit. Now I'm gonna go off camera and finish attaching these last 4 here, and then I'm going to ink the edges, and then we'll keep on going. Okay? All right. Okay, you guys, I am adding this last panel here. Tidy up a little bit. I think I've decided where I want it. I think we're good right there. I'm just gonna go ahead and push this down. If you hear the noise in the background, it is one of my kitties playing back here. She's found her way into one of my closets. So if you hear some ruckus in the background, that would be her playing. Her name is Schnitzel. She is a beautiful little girl. She's a Russian blue long hair with these neon yellow eyes. Ugh, I love this cat. She's kind of slow, little, I don't want to call her dumb, but she's just a little slow. As in, for example, if I close my bedroom door, she'll literally throw her body up against it until I open the door. Or she'll just walk around with her head. I don't know why she does that. Probably doesn't help the fact that she's slow and she walks into the doors with her head. But she's precious. She is my little baby. My little schnitzel baby. She is a pumpkin. Give me no pumpkin. She's one of 2 cats that I have. I have another light calico, little bitty thing we rescued from the animal shelter. She is a doll. Love that little kitty. She's so, I forget how tiny she is until I see her next to other cats. I mean, she is, her little paws are probably no bigger than this little inch square. I mean, she's a little bitty thing. And she's like, I want to say she's about 16 now. She has no teeth. Bless her heart. She'll gum you to death, though. Look out. Okay. All right. We've got our background panels on. And here we go. All right. Yay. All right. I want to go around these edges of this this paper, because I'm noticing that where I rub the eraser, it's kind of like peeling up a little bit. So the design is, so I don't know if it's from the friction or what, but a couple places it looks like it's the design part of the paper is kind of peeling up a little bit, which I'm not thrilled about. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's go ahead and ink, and I'm going to use my Distress ink real quick. I said I was going to do it off camera, but I didn't, so we're going to just do it real quick together. I'll end up doing it a couple more times as I go through, as I'm decorating, depending on, you know, what I'm putting on the page. Sometimes I'll feel like it needs to be darker or whatever. But I'm going to just go ahead and get it mostly done and out of the way, because that's what it needs to be anyway. It needs to be grungy and dirty. Alright. Now while I'm doing this, just to review the measurements of your panels. These pieces right here, the background papers, are going to be 10 by 6. Right? So if you're using Tim Holtz, it's really easy because those are already 10 by 6. You just lay them down. And otherwise, you're just going to cut them down to size, 10 by 6. Because each panel themselves of the actual base, those measure 10 1/4 by 6 1/4. So that gives us a nice little mat behind each of the papers, right? Okay. Let's get this right here. Da-da-da-da. Am I getting it enough? I think so. There we go. Let's hit this right here a little bit. And then let's hit the front, of course. Alright, so next, I guess we're going to start working on some pockets here. So, let's do that. Let me see which ones we're going to work on first. Okay, I think I did decide which ones I got because I pulled out some papers for it already. Okay, that's good enough for now. Put that to the side. Put some caps on our glue so they don't dry out while we are figuring out what we're going to do. Okay, so how are we doing on time? Okay, we're about halfway from where I wanted to be. So, about half an hour, a little bit more in. Okay, so let's work on these front 2 panels first, yeah? Alright. Alright, you guys. The next thing we are going to do is I'm going to go ahead and work on these front 2 panels, I think. And put the pockets on here. So we have something, we'll do something fun. And then we'll start working on the flips on the inside. Okay? So on each side, they're going to kind of match, but not really. So we're going to have 2 long pockets here with notches. And then in the notches, we're going to put some stamped tabs. And then we're going to have a torn pocket here, a torn pocket here, a stamped mini CD sleeve here with some stencil work, and then another long pocket here with some brads in it. Okay, so let's start with the long pockets first. And the paper I picked out for that is, I got this, and I haven't decided if I want to use this side or this side. I kind of like the contrast of both, right? What do I want to do? kind of digging on that, actually. I think this is more in line with what I want for the whole journal to look like. I mean, that looks cool. I like the contrast, and it will be covered up with the pockets and whatnot. But I really kind of, that's my gut reaction to this one. Okay, so these are going to be gusseted pockets, okay? So we're gonna make these not the whole way up, because I do want to see this behind it. Let's see, why don't we make these, let's do, and like I said before, this is not gonna be exactly like the other one. The techniques are all the same, but there'll be some differences. Okay. All right, let's do 4 inches. Yeah, 4 inches by, if you want to use my measurements. 4 inches by, we're not gonna go all the way to the edge. So we'll do 4 inches by, let's say 9.5. So that's going to give us a little bit all the way around the pocket. Okay. So I said 4 by 9.5. So this actually is not long enough to do 9.5. So we're going to, since it's only 10, and we need a 1/2 inch gusset on either side. So this is going to be, we'll leave it at 10, and then we're going to cut this down to 4.5 wide. Okay. That'll give us a 1/2 inch gusset over here. Let me show you what I mean. Put this aside for a second. All right, so first I'm going to cut the width down to where it's 4.5 inches wide from 6, and I want to use this. I like this edge, so I'm going to leave that one alone. That side alone. I cut this side. So 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. Okay. The same with this one. 4.5. Right there. Okay. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and make our notch there. And I left my punch over on the other side. Okay, so let's go ahead and score these then, because I am going to sew these. So since I want this to be my edge, I'm going to score on these sides here. So we're going to do 1/2 inch on either side. That'll make our pocket 9 inches long. And this will be the bottom. So do the 4.5, do a 1/2 inch here, and that'll make it 4 inches deep, like we want. Okay? And then of course you want to miter here, because we want to get rid of that extra bulk, right? So from the intersection here, I'm going to mark it with my pen on this side so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay. This is where the score marks intersect. So what you want to do, if you haven't seen me do this before, I'm going to come up a little bit closer. You're going to go in from the short side, in at an angle, right? From the fold. Here's the fold, and here, oh sorry, the score mark is here, and the score mark is here. That's the intersection. You're going to go at an angle towards that intersection from that fold here, yeah, to the intersection, and then at an angle out of it as well, okay? Now I go in at about a 45, and then I kind of kick it a little bit this way, and I'll show you why in a second. It's about at a little bit steeper angle, okay? So it kind of looks like this, what you want, right? We're going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to go in. I can't even see the score marks. Here we go. There it is. Here we're going to go in at a 45, and then I'm going to kick it down a little bit, and then we have this. Okay, so you have that on both sides, yeah? And then where your entrance of your pocket is, you're going to cut to that score mark, which is right here, yeah? Right there, at an angle as well. That way when you fold it, you won't see that piece sticking up in the back of the pocket, and on the other side as well. So what you have is a piece that looks like this at the bottom. Here's the, let me flip it around. Here's the top, here's the bottom, bottom, top, okay? We're going to do the same thing on this one. So that's my entrance here. 1/2 inch on either side of the short side, or the short sides here. And then down the long side of the bottom of the pocket, another 1/2 inch. Same thing as before. We're going to go from the side and at a 45 degree to the intersection, and then kick down a little bit. Same thing on the other side. You're going to go from the edge to the intersection at a 45 degree angle, and then kick it down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to show you why I did that in just 1 second. There is a reason. That changed the angle. Then your entrances as well. All right, and if you're going to notch it, go ahead and do that now, and go ahead and do your inking, which we'll go ahead and do the inking before I go do some stitching. And again, I'm going to be using distress ink and black soot for this entire folio, most likely. Actually, let's go ahead and crease our score marks first, because we're going to ink those edges as well. Now, why do I change the angle when I go out of that intersection, right? There's a reason. Why do I go in at a 45 degree and then I change my angle and go down a little bit? There's a reason. So when you score these, or fold your scores. Now, you'll notice if I had gone at the same angle, this edge here and this edge here would meet up. Now, the reason I don't is because I want this flap to come over this part. I don't want them to meet up like this. I want this part to come over it. See how it's come over there a little bit? Right there? And it makes for a more secure pocket, in my personal opinion. Okay, I just like doing it that way. All right? That same thing over here. Let me fix this score mark here. Okay, instead of these pieces meeting up like this, this actually goes over the top a little bit. You see that? And it kind of closes that pocket off a little bit, I think. I like it. I just like it better that way. Okay? That's just, again, personal preference. It is not required. The pocket will still work either way if you don't do the angle change like I do. That's just, again, the way I do it. And that's the reason I do it. Okay, let's do our second pocket here. And there we go. All right, and here's where you're gonna put your notch in and do your inking. I'm gonna cut my notch when I get to the other side of the table, because that's where my hole punch, or my paper punch is. My 2-inch is what I use. You know what? I always say I'm gonna show you every step. Let me go grab it, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean by shallow. Uh-oh, where's my 2-inch? It's missing. You know what? I bet it's in my cart and I just don't see it. No, it's sitting right to my... Oh my God. You know where it is? It's right here. Right to my left. So, I want to do a shallow punch. I always use, more often than not, when I'm doing my notches, I use a 2-inch one. And I like, just because I like it, my notches wide. And I do it pretty shallow. About, you know, maybe a quarter of the way down. Right there. And in the middle here as well. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of gauge it. Eyeball it. Or what have you. Now, I'm going to be inking pretty heavily throughout this journal. Just FYI. So I'll hit my edges first to get rid of that white core, because I don't want to see that. And the edges of my folds as well. And then I usually end up going, when I'm doing it really heavily, I go back and then I brush it. What I'm also going to be doing is this little thing that I do is I kind of take the edge of my dauber and run like these little lines up and down the entrance to kind of give it a little bit of a creased look. Gets a little bit of a dimension. You don't have to do it. It's just something that I like to do. And then I kind of rub them out a little bit. Alright, then I go back and then like I said, I do some more inking. I brush down the sides and I hit the corners especially. Especially when I'm doing grunge work, I use a lot of ink on the edges. And I pay a lot of attention to the corners. I just want them dark. Okay, and I'm going to hit this entrance a little bit more. And then even after that, I'll take my blending brush and kind of just blend it out to kind of soften some of the rough inking edges there. Okay? There we go. There we go. Oh, I need more here. More inking. It's not dark enough. That's better. Okay, let's do the other one. I think it might be time to re-ink this bad boy. Looks like it's about that time. I don't even remember if I've got my black soot ringer. I know I was going to order one. I don't remember if I did or not. I have to go look. But I've got other black inks we can use. We can use the oxide. It'll be about the same. Only reason I don't use the oxide normally when I'm inking is because I feel like I'm wasting the ink because it's got that special oxide property. And I'm like, well, I'm not really oxidizing my edges, so I want to save that for when I want to use that property, right? So that's why I'll buy the inks for edging, for inking edges. Okay, let's do some little texture here around the entrance. And you'll also notice a lot of times I put my ink pads upside down. That's just to have gravity bringing the ink to the top. Let gravity do the work. Let's see here. I think I want to put a lot more on there. So let me grab a piece of scrap paper here. And I'm going to just hit these corners or edges a little bit more. Yes, that's much better. Dark, dark, dark. Grungy, grungy, dirty. I like that much better. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, let's take my blending brush here and just go around real quick. Yep, let's do that one. Same way over here on this other piece. Let's go back around. Now I'm just running my dauber in circles around the edges here because, you know, like I said, I like to ink it out really heavily especially when I'm doing grunge stuff. Yes, that's much better. I like that. Like it. I don't think they need to use any stenciling on it, so I'm probably going to do some speckling on it for sure. Let's see. I want to put some grid marks on it? Maybe. I've got this like grid stamp you guys saw earlier that I think I might want to put a couple grid marks on here just for giggles before I put some pockets on it. Let's do that. I love this stamp. Again, I will try to remember to link. I got this off Etsy, and it's an awesome stamp. Oh, it's awesome. How to hit it right about on these edges here, in the corner, kind of half on, half off. Just some texture. Yes, 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 yes. I like it. What do you guys think? I love that. That looks really good. I like that a lot, actually. A lot. Yep. Totally digging that. For sure. Look at that. What do y'all think? You like it? I like it. Let's do the other one too, and then I'm gonna grab my speckling stamp over there. That looks cool. I like it. Okay, let's do a little bit right here. Just a little right in that corner. And then I'm going to do some over this entrance here. That looks cool. I dig it. I think a little more right here. Coming up this way. Yep, I like it. Like it. Alright, we're going to keep that around because we'll be doing that probably a lot. Alright, let me grab my other little stamp and then we'll put some more stamping on it before we put the pockets on. Alright, I'm going to grab a couple other little stamps real quick so you can do some more texture on these pockets before I go stitch them. So this one came off of, I have to go back and look, it's one of my Tim Holtz. I think it came off Surgeon, the stamp set there. But it's just some, you know, some speckling there. And I'm just going to randomly hit this in a few places. I think that's good. One little word dot right there. Okay. There's that one. And let's do the other. Get that out of the way before it gets hit. Okay. And this is all, you know, just decorating is all optional stuff, you know? You just don't have to do all this if you don't want. Again, this is just showing you how I do it. That's enough, don't you think? No, not enough. Never. More speckles. That's enough, Tana. Enough. No, wait, right here. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough. Okay, let's put that aside before I do anything else to it. All right, next step is going to be I'm going to go do some stitching, and then we'll attach these, and then we'll see where we are in time, okay? Okay, I went and grabbed some more paper, of course. Let's go ahead and attach these guys, and then we're going to see where we are on time and see where else we want to go with this today. So far we've done, obviously, the base. We've done the background papers. Did some little bit of stitching, did the cover, to clear that, and the book plate. And these, obviously, these two main pockets here. Now, I'm just going to do, since it's paper on paper, I'm going to use art glitter here. And again, remember, I say this all the time, but when you're putting your glue on here, if you want to do it the way I do it, I do not go to the outer edges of my flaps. That allows my pocket to grow a little bit and not be so tight to the paper, and it also lessens the risk of the pocket tearing off the page as well. I find them to be too tight if you go all the way to the edge when you glue it that way. Again, that's my preference. Now I go almost to the edge, but not all the way. The inside of the flap is fine, always. Okay. Let's flatten this out a little bit here. Now, here we go. This way. Like, how am I going to do this now? Alright, and I'm going to go almost to the edge here. Make sure my flaps are in. Now remember, art glitter glue dries pretty quick, so make your decisions fast. Make sure that this is straight. Got a little bit of wiggle room here. Here we go. I think I'm good with that. Okay. Now, if this was glued all the way to the edge, you wouldn't be able to pull this part up. Let me see if I can show you. Any more than this right here. Like that. That's it. That's all you get. With that little bit of edging that's free, you see how it comes off the paper just a little bit? It's still going to be attached. It's not going to come off, but it gives it a little bit of extra room and a little bit of extra give. It's a little bit more forgiving. Okay. Alright, there's one. I'm going to cut this down just a smidge here. There we go. And yes, I always leave my strings on my stitching. I like them that way. That's just my, again, personal preference. The person who gets this can either take them off, leave them, or you can not stitch, or you can leave yours on, or you can cut yours off. Again, all personal preference, yeah? Okay, let's do this side now. Stay still over there. Okay. All right. Now, should we continue to do a little bit more tonight? Maybe we'll do some more. We'll do some pockets on these panels here before we go and move to the inside and do the flaps. Or we could do maybe the first set of flaps on the inside of panel 1 and come back and do the pockets later. Oop, I missed a spot right there. Okay. Alright, get the strings out of the way, and down we go. And make sure that these are even with each other. Just going to open this back up, close this back up here. I think that would be about the same. Go. That back a little bit. This one down. Those look about right. There we go. I think we're all right. Just a little bit higher. Let's move it a little bit more. A little bit. Nope, that's it. That's all it's going to give me. That's okay. They're pretty close. Pretty close. They're not twins, but they're definitely sisters. Okay. All right. There are our first pockets there. And then what we're going to do is I got these large whale tail tabs. And you can use whatever kind of tab you have. You don't have to be these. I may actually use smaller ones. I think these might be too big. I don't know. I think I may do the smaller ones. What do you guys think? I think those look a little bit out of place right there. Yeah, that's drawing my attention way too much. I'm gonna have to cut out some smaller ones. That's fine. We'll do those later. Okay. Next is, where's the other one of those? I thought I had 2 of those. Over here. And I don't know where it was. I don't know where it went. Alright, let's see. Let's go ahead and why don't we do the 2 torn pockets that are on this side. Yeah. And then we'll do a pocket here, and then we can do the, let's see, how are we doing on time? Let's see, we're right at about an hour. So, let's do it. Let's do some more pockets. Yeah? I grabbed some scraps out of my Tim Holtz scrappy drawer. So I found this pocket in there. This was actually a little bit too wide. This one would work as a pocket. This one would work as a pocket as well. And let's see, this would go, maybe not, I don't know. This might work. You do a pocket here, there's orange one here, and then I'm gonna do that green one. I'm gonna do some use some green ink and do some stenciling with some black on that CD sleeve I was thinking about. Or maybe I'll do this one. I love this one. This is Abandoned, Tim Holtz. This is one of the 8x8s. Look at that color. I mean, isn't that just frigging awesome? I love this paper. It is probably my favorite pack of all time right now. Is this Abandoned? So if you guys see it out there, save it for me. I love it. I absolutely love it. How about that one? This one. I want to use this side. Ooh, I like that side. Ooh, pretty, 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 pretty. I think we're going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to get one of those little sleeves, if I can find one. I inked a whole, or copied a whole bunch, and they're spread out around projects. Now, I don't know what I did with them all. Okay, let me check this box right here. Let's see. I copied a whole bunch, and I have not been able to. Here's one. This one. Here's one. Perfect. That's what we need right there. Where are the rest of them? I honestly do not know where in the world those things went. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of them that are not coffee dyed. Anyway, sorry. I will deal with my personal problems later. But where my stuff is. Okay, let me set this back up over here. Alrighty, so yeah, we're going to do some stamping on this one and do some distressing with some color. I'm going to use green, grunge it up some with some green and black, and some stamps and whatnot. Yeah, for sure. And then make pockets out of these three here. So, let's do that first. Let's see what kind of room I'm working with here. So I'm going to measure this again real quick just to make sure I know what I'm working with here, because I want the pockets to be on the inside of the stitching, not on top of it. Am I still in frame? Yes. Okay. Should I bring you guys down a little bit? I'm going to bring you guys down just a smidge. There we go. How's that? Alright, so I'm just measuring my workable space here. And it is a little bit under 4. But within the stitching where I want the pocket to lay is... Let's see. Where's that highest point? I'm going to say 3 1/4. Yeah, 3 1/4 safe. And then I'm going to make it no more than, let's say 3 inches. Yeah, because I don't want it to go past this knots. So let's do, like I said, 3 1/4 by I want it longer than it is wide, don't I? Do I? Do I? Do I? And then I'm going to tear it. So let's do 4. Our usable space is 3 1/2 that way by 3 1/4 this way. Okay. Let's do that first. And I'm going to use this scrap right here to make that pocket. And it's going to be a torn one. So I'm just going to make it a gusseted one here. So I'm going to grab my scoreboard and do my usual half-inch flaps on either side and the bottom of the pocket. Like so. Yeah. Yep. And you believe it? I'm using my scraps. I went hunting through my Tim Holtz stuff. So there's got to be some stuff that I can use in here. Now, where are my dadgum scissors? Alright, let me grab my bigger ones here. Alright, again, we're going to do the same thing with the mitering at an angle, in at an angle, and then out again at an angle. Come on, get in there. In and then out. And I'm not going to do the tops just yet because I'm tearing it. So I'm going to tear, if you don't want the white of the paper showing, you want to tear it away from you, okay? If you tear it this way, see how the core shows? You want to tear it away, that way. Unless you like that white part, and then you tear it towards you. Okay, and then I'm going to miter the entrance flaps here as well. Alright, let's do the folds. I think this is too wide. I didn't measure it. I got too excited, you guys. Yep, it's too wide. Need to cut it. What did I say? 3 1/4, right? By 3 1/2. So it's fine this way, but it's too wide that way. So I need to cut this down. So the usable space needs to be 3 1/4 and no more than that. So I'm measuring down from here. I made a boo-boo, you guys. 3 1/4 plus a 1/2 inch. Let's say it's right there. Let's try that again. And pay attention to what I'm doing. I was yakking and not paying attention. Alright, let's give that a 1/2 inch flap over there real quick. And then go ahead and cut our corner out right there. And at the entrance. And then we'll make the other pockets, and I'll take them all over to stitch all at the same time. So I'll make all these pockets together. And this is just a simple torn edge pocket. Very simple. Okay, let's make sure that that fits. And it does. Exactly where I wanted it. Okay. We're also going to be putting we're going to use a cluster. And we're going to put that here when we decorate it. It's going to actually be used as a tuck. Okay, we'll do that later. What we're going to do right now for the next few parts is we're going to put down these front pockets here and these two front panels, and then we're going to go inside and do all the flaps and flip outs, and then we'll put the pockets on top of that. All right, so for now we're going to do just these pockets on these front two panels tonight. All right, that one works. All right, the next one is going to be this green here, and I'm going to assume it's about the same as this one, so let's just measure that. Yeah. Okay, so this was, double checking my measurements here. This is 4 1/4 wide. And how long was it? It's 4 1/2 long. Okay, that's right. Okay. Let's cut this one too. Now. And then we'll make sure that one fits before we cut the next one. Alright, let's see. We said I'm going to use this, and the writing is going that way. But I really like this green part, so I'm going to cut this top part off. I really want this teal to show up. Yeah, okay, so I want this black piece over here. So I'm going to turn it this way. And I want it 4 1/4 wide. Right? Double checking again. How wide is this one? 4 1/4 wide, right? Yeah, 4 1/4. Okay. And then long, I think we said 3 1/2 plus a 1/2 inch, so 4. And then we'll measure it. If we need to cut it, we'll adjust. Let's say, I want to say maybe a little bit longer. I'm going to do 4 1/2 because we're tearing off part of this anyway. Alright, so we did 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. Got this little square going here, a little bit. Alright, let's score this one and measure it, make sure this one fits. Alright. 1/2 inch flap over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1/2 inch flap over there. Then a 1/2 inch flap for the bottom. Alright, before I start mitering it, I'm going to fold at the score marks and just measure that. Just make sure this fits. Alright, so this one will go here, this one will go here, and it fits, because we are going to tear off part of this piece. Perfect. Alrighty. We can go ahead and miter this one, and then do the other pocket. Go do some stitching, we'll come back, and then we'll do some stamping on that CD sleeve. And get that one down. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. We'll tear this a bit. I love this pattern too, so I think we're going to do the other pocket on this side with this pattern. The other side of that paper, I think. I don't know if I have enough of it there. Let's see. Alrighty, so that's that pocket. Done. Now, let's see what we've got left over. We've got these two scraps here. Now, this pocket is a longer pocket that I have in the other folder. It actually comes up to right about here. And this one will go right there. So I wanted this one to be kind of long and narrow. This one might work at this size. So we have this color combination here. I want this side actually. Ooh, that's pretty. I think we can do it. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to do a narrow one. Yep. Okay, let's do a narrow one. I'm actually going to measure this way. I want it to be, that to go up to the top there. And this one to come within that stitching, so it has to go end right here. So I'll cut a 1/2 inch. I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch past this mark to give it that bottom flap, okay? And on the insides, to make this fit, I don't want to, I'm going to make an adjustment, I think. If I do a 1/2 inch on either side of here, hold on one second. I'm measuring a 1/2 inch flap on either side. see how narrow my pocket's going to be. So if I do a 1/2 inch flap on either side, my pocket's going to be about that wide, which actually is going to be fine for the look I'm going for. I want it long and narrow. Yep, this works. Okay, so what I've done, take that off, is I just measured it by marking where I want my pocket to end. And then when I cut it, I'm actually going to cut it 1/2 inch past there. You guys see what I'm doing here? I marked it where I wanted it to end, which I wanted to end here, where the stitching starts, right? I want it to be on the inside of that. So I measured to there, right? And then I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch past it to give it that bottom flap. Okay? All right. And the width is fine. So let's cut it, and then we're going to do some stitching. Okay. So like I said, there's the mark for the bottom, and I'm going to go a 1/2 inch past that. So I'm going to go right here. Ought to be fine. Okay. And let's score these flaps as well, and then we will measure and make sure everything fit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just heard my work text go up. Who's texting me at this time of night? I wonder if I'm in trouble. I hope not. Alright, let's miter these as well. Okay. And for these, the last time I did the folio, I did a straight and I notched it. And I think I'm going to tear this one as well, instead of doing a notch. So yeah, I'm going to tear this one. Okay. And let's do these folds here, and we'll see how everything fits. That tear? No. Almost, but not quite. I might put some booby tape on that just to make sure. I think I might have gone through just a little too hard on that one. It's close. So I am, yeah, it didn't go all the way through, but the paper did break a little bit. So I'm going to put some boo-boo tape on there. Boo-boo tape to the rescue. Which actually works with color. So, see? Don't panic, just adjust and work the problem. And that'll actually look pretty cool there anyway. I love this stuff. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see, what size should we use? We're going to go for a thick one. Yeah, because we're going to fold it around. There we go. Let's do... What's going on here? Looks like I got stuck on something. Alright, let's do... I'm going to do... Let's see, how wide is that tear? How long is that tear? Fairly long. So let's do this one right here. And to repair that, I'm just going to put the tape, the boo-boo tape, like it says, right down here at the fold mark. Enough to where I can fold it. And that fixes that. We are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, we're good. Alright, let's make sure everything fits. Put our boo-boo tape away. Has anybody gotten any of the new Tim Holtz Halloween stuff for this year? I have gotten the paper, a couple pads of that, and I got the new sticker book, which I loved, all the orange. Love that. What do you guys think of the paper? Okay, let me preface this by saying I love Tim Holtz, all things Tim Holtz. You know, 98% of everything that comes out of his studio, I love it. I may not have purchased it all, but I love his stuff. However, this year's paper backdrops for Halloween, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but as the years have gone by, the thickness of the paper, or the weight of the paper, the backdrops has gone down. Like the weight of the Halloween paper backdrops this year, it's very thin. I'm wondering if there's a reason for that. I mean, you run less risk of tearing if you're folding it, right? I mean, I guess it's fine, but it's a noticeable difference to me. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but me. Or maybe I'm just, you know, losing my mind. But has anybody else noticed that? With this year's paper, it's very thin. Alright, here's what we have so far. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm actually going to get some stamping and some ink, and we're going to work on this one. We're going to stitch these three. And I'm actually going to put, I think I'm going to put some eyelets on these pockets as well. So we'll do that after I stitch and ink it, and before we put them down. Okay? Yeah, so let me go do the stitching, and I'll come back, we'll do the inking, we'll put some hardware on it, we'll do this stamping, and then we'll call it a night. Sound good? Alright. Okay, you guys, let's keep going here, and we'll finish up these pockets and call it a video for the night. Alright, so what did I do? I went over to my sewing machine real quick and did some stitching on these. And I'm going to ink these real quick with the same Distress ink in Black Soot. And then we'll attach these. Okay. Let's go back around here and darken this up a bit. Alright, let's blend some of this out here. And that one I believe is good to go. Okay, that one will go right there. Let's do this one real quick. This one doesn't need as much inking, obviously, because it's already a dark color, but I'm still going to hit it anyway. Alright, that one will go there. Get to that one in a minute. Oops, I forgot to cut off those entrance pieces real quick. Let's get that done. Okay. Yep, I still hear my work email going, or texting going off, so I'm gonna have to go check that here shortly. Okay, let's blend a little bit of this out here also. And I think this one's good to go. Yep. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and attach these guys. Okie dokie. Alright, so we got everything inked. And let's go ahead and put those on, and we can put this to the side for the moment, and then we'll work on this guy. Yeah? Okie dokie. Let's see. Sorry, I had to walk away for a second. My Teams messenger from work was just pinging like crazy. I had to see what was going on. I have one of my clients, their software is going live this weekend, so I have to be around and available. Alright. Let's get this on there. Right about here, I think is good. Yeah, let's make sure that's even and straight. There we go. Good with that. All right. Put this pin somewhere so I don't lose it. There we go. All right, let's grab this guy right here. I'm gonna give these score marks one more little hit real quick. Okay. All right. Strings, 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 everywhere strings. So what do you guys think so far of the new series and stuff with the, you know, Let's Make Stuff Fridays and the Saturday series, which we're still working on the lap book, that lap book series. And then, oops, sorry, I think I just hit the camera with the glue. And then this Sunday series. What do you guys think? You like it? You like the idea? Do you like me doing more videos? I hope so. I'm trying to make everybody happy. There we go. Alright, that one's down. Good to go there. Alright, let's get this bad boy down. And then we can do some inking and stamping on that other element. And I will let you guys go for the evening. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you're crafting along with me. I'd like to know. I did actually add my Instagram link to the channel description. If you guys want to show me some, tag me in it. It's Story House. The link is in my channel description. But yeah, I'm gonna start utilizing that because I want to see y'all's makes as well. So if you guys are making anything, please tag me. I want to see what you guys are doing. Please. Alright, let's put this one down right about here on the inside of the stitching. And I think I said I was going to put some eyelets on these, and I totally forgot. But we can put some brads or something. We can still put eyelets on these, I think. See, man, I forgot to do that. That's irritating. I really wanted to put some hardware on. We can still put brads on them, though. It'd be a lot easier. I might be able to get some eyelets in here still. Let's see. While I'm thinking about it, let me see if I can get these eyelets in here. Let's see, right over this way. Well, I didn't have eyelets in the original one either. I put the eyelets in the journal cards with the layered dangles on it. So maybe we'll stick with that. Leave this alone and go ahead and put the mini pockets on there and leave the hardware off. Well, let me see if I can get this in here without causing too much of a hissy fit here. Would I be able to get that in there to put one in there? No, it won't. And I'm not going to force it. We'll just go with the original idea without the hardware here, and we'll have the hardware on the actual ephemera that goes inside the pockets. Yeah? Because we are going to be putting mini pockets on here as well, on the fronts of these. And this one is going to have a very large cluster on it as well. So there's going to be stuff on the front of these already. Alright, let's put this to the side. And we'll do some stamping on this guy. And some inking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pull these colors out. Right? So to do that, I grabbed this Uncharted Mariner. And I grabbed a little bit of green and then Rustic Wilderness. So these are both Distress Oxides. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of these and some black just to see what, try to bring that out of here. This is an experiment. We'll see what we see. If we don't like it, I've got more of these and we'll do it again. Yeah? Alright, let's start with I'm going to take this off. That goes with this one. And I've got this one here. I'm going to start with the Rustic Wilderness and see where we go with that. Ooh, I just dropped that. Ooh. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Alright, I am going to just real lightly start on the outside. I'll start on the paper and then circle it and bring it in on the element here. Just go around. I'm not pressing real hard. So I'm going to be doing a lot of blending, I believe. Okay. I think that's good. And we're going to be inking the edges in black and doing the stamping in black as well. I think that's good right there. I'm going to blend some of that out. I grab another brush. Okay, let's do a little bit of blending here. And this brush has a little bit of the black soot on it, so that'll make this a little even darker. Okay, I'm liking it so far. Now let's switch and bring some of this Uncharted Mariner into it. Not much, just a little. Again, just little small circles. And then I might even spray this with a little bit of water to get that oxidation on it. Make it even grungier. What do you guys think? I think I might. Before I ink it with the black soot ink. Okay, I'm kind of digging that. Let's blend this out. I kind of like it. Once we do some stamping on it, I think it's going to be even cooler. What do you guys think so far? Alrighty, now I'm going to put these back where they belong. So what I do is I actually put like a little piece of Velcro on the back of these to keep their dauber tops with them, so I don't lose them and waste them, right? Okay, a little more blending here. Okay, I think I'm gonna do a dab of black on this here now. There we go. Let's grunge this up some more. Yep. I like it, I like it, I like it, I like it, I like it a lot. Alright. Alright, let's do some inking on the edges here. And then I'm going to do some stamping as well. And I'm going to actually put this little flap here. I think I'm going to glue it down. Is it going to show through the window? Let me see here. It will show a little bit. So let's just cut that off and be done with it. Because I don't need that flap there. Okay. There we go. We don't need that guy. Okay. Let's put this over here. Let me put my pen back in my art glitter before it gets all goopy. Okay, let's do the edges here. Alright, I'm gonna hit these corners just a little bit more on the edges. A little more blending here. Just it's like, you know, just adding layers and then working it back together, and then adding another layer, right? Okay, I'm gonna hit this window a little bit as well. There's a little bit of tear right there, but I don't mind that at all, actually. Ooh, that looks cool. Alright, and how about some of that grid stamp? What do you think? Is it speckling? Yeah, and I brought over some Tim Holtz, the Field Notes, and Eccentric as well. Maybe do some numbers or something else on here, top of here. So let's grab our archival ink and black soot and do some grid work on here. Yes, 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 yes. I love this grid stamp so much, can you tell? I mean, I love this stamp. I love it, love it, love it, love it. That's plenty right there, I think. Right there. Okay, I think I like that. And then how about some of the speckling, you think? Just a little bit. Right there. I think that's good enough, don't you think? Yeah, that's good enough, I think. I think it needs any more speckling than that. Let's keep that ink out. And let's see. Do I want to put anything else on here? I think I kind of do. Let's see what we've got in here. How about some numbers, something like that? Like 4.5 looks pretty cool. Okay. Did I bring my... I didn't grab my acrylic block, so I'm just going to use my stamp to do this. I can't see. That's not a good idea. Let's just do it with my fingers. And right there. There we go. That'll work. You know what? I want my block. I want my block. I gotta have my block. Let's keep going here and get grungy, grungy, grungy even more. Ooh. Ah, dropping things. I want to put the 5 on here somewhere, y'all. I love that dang 5. I love this thing. This is one of my favorite stamps, is this big old 5. Do I want to put it on there? I kind of do. I need something to cover up that circle a little bit. Let's see. Oh, that's not it. I'm looking for my circle cutouts I've got right here somewhere. Aha! They're not the same size, but they will help keep it from getting into the window there. Okay. Ooh, I should get that slime stamp. I wonder where that one is. That would be fun. Do I want to put the 5 on there? No, I think it's too much with the 4 on there. Gotta do identification check. That's just a standard, right? Okay. What else can we put on there? You put filed on, of course. That's a standard one I gotta put on here somewhere. Yep. Let's see, what else can we do? La 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 la. Want to put the finger on here? What do you think? Let's see. What about there? That work? Let's see. Something circular maybe. Here. Alright, anything else we can put on here, you think? How about... what's that? Just tape stuff on my fingers. How about that? Figure 1, 2, and 3. I like this stamp too. Hey you guys, I'm sorry. It stopped recording as I was finishing up the stamping, so I had to go free up some space. You didn't miss much. I just finished stamping this, and here's our finished piece. Here, what do you guys think? Like it? So I'm actually going to go in here and see how it goes with the rest of it. I'm going to bring you guys down a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Have it right there. Let's see what we think. What do you guys think? Kind of like how it brings the colors across a little bit. I like it. I think I'm good with this. Then we're going to do some decorating on it later on, but I'm good with this for now. So let's go ahead and attach this one. And we'll call it a video for tonight. Again, I'm not going to go all the way to the edge, like I said before. Alrighty. Put this right here. Right there. I think we're good. Alright. So what do you guys think so far? Yeah? Let's check these pockets. Everything looks good here. Alrighty. We are going to call this a video for tonight. I think I have kept you guys quite long enough. I will see you guys in part 2 next week. We're going to do the flaps of the inside and get started in there, okay? If you like what you saw tonight, please hit the like button and leave me a comment. You guys know how much I love reading and responding to y'all's comments. If you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notified for any time I upload new content. And please share this video as much as you want. I'd love for you to share it. If you guys are crafting along with me, please tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see what you guys are making. And I will see you guys in the next video. Next week we got Make Stuff Friday. Next, the series, Saturday series, we'll continue with the Lab Book 2.0. And we'll continue with this one for series Sundays. Okay? I'll see you guys then. Love you guys. Bye.